you aware of the danger of anachronism? Have you ever thought about it? This is what I want to invite you to consider now. It's a malady. It's something that more and more and more scholars do. And they manage to even publish their flawed and distorted results. And that is why I'm taking the opportunity today to challenge you about it. What does that mean? Anachronism. Looking at events, stories, texts, songs, and the like from past centuries, whether the last one or 19th century or even medieval times. You just take an event or a text or a practice and you look at it with your eyes of today. You put your glasses, 21st century glasses, and even sharper still, 21st century glasses from the UK or from the States, or a particular group of people. And then you start looking at this and say, my friends that don't know anything, I'm going to enlighten you. And instead, you are blinding them. Let me give you examples. You look at the practice of marriage, what is called traditional marriage, one man and one woman, marrying and getting children. Today, many people on a particular side of the society decided to challenge this and say, forget about it, it's outdated. And they want to promote another type of marriage that they believe is the in thing to do. Either not marrying not at all, or marrying without any church or religious building attached, or homosexual marriage, or repeated marriage and divorces, whatever model they are promoting. And they will not even stop at that. Now what they do, and I say they because I don't identify with these people, is that they look at the institution and bombard it with criticism. This is really outdated, should be abandoned because of this, and that. Now, unfortunately, what they have not done is to, first of all, look at it carefully. Know how it was done. When did it start? What was the basis for it? And interestingly, find out why it lasted for so long. Because if it was that bad, it would have been discarded long ago. But it didn't. So you have to find out. Another example, the treatment of women. Hey, we want women to be better treated. And the Me Too movement and many others will go that way. It started with the feminists. And many people were joining the bandwagon and then adjusting their glasses and then looking at practices that they wanted to destroy. You have to look at the reasons behind those things. For example, when I was young, at the time my mother received letters, official letters, that were worded with not our first name, Janine, or even our maiden name, because she was married, okay, you could have understood. But she was called on the letters by the first name and family name of the husband. So Mrs. Charles XYZ. And when my father died, she then received letters that were calling her widow with my father's name, first name and last name. You could think that is hateful. The issue is, why was that done? Because there is a reason for everything. And behind that, forget about your opinion. Just look at it objectively. Try to be objective and try to find out the reasons. There were reasons. Now it has been abandoned, and you can receive a letter with your name. And you can even decide to keep your maiden name and give it even to your children. There are all kinds of changes that happened. But I want to challenge you. Find the context, the history of every practice. You look at a text and find that to your mind is distasteful. Why is it? So you look at it, say, well, I don't like this because, okay, now why was it written 1 or 2 centuries ago? In what context? Historical context. And sometimes it can be just the same 21st century, but on a different geographical and cultural context. You have to remove the text from that flying over and put it back, set it back into its context. Find out who wrote it. What was the reason? What was the context? If it's just a page in a book, what was the book about? I give you other examples. Slavery. Slavery has been agitating the crowds. People are asking to be paid back for their ancestors having been in slavery. Now, the people that have done nothing, because it was not them that enslaved those people, are now accused of being the perpetrators. So this is a blatant anachronism. I cannot be accused for my ancestors 3 centuries ago. I don't know what they did. If your ancestor was a bandit, a hooligan, it's not your fate. Yeah? You are not your ancestor. So why do you do that? And then, slavery per se. People that talk like that, accusing the enslavers, forget that just before their very eyes, slavery goes on. Not only in parts of Africa, but here, in the UK, in the US, in so-called civilized countries. So what was the purpose of slavery? How was it done? To whom? Was there any reason behind that? And how did it manage to eventually be abandoned by the people that were practicing it? And then who was involved? Because it's easy to say, yeah, it's those people. Forget about the others. And that is another problem. It's not only anachronism, but blatant semi-truth, half-truth, and half-lies. Because we know, for example, that yes, the West ransacked Africa, especially West Africa, and took them to the West Indies, to America. What about the Muslims that raided Central Africa for centuries, killing people, massacring them, carrying them through the desert? Nobody says anything about it. It's a taboo. So why? Do you want to join that? Or do you want to report it? And if so, why? So what I'm discussing here is not the good or bad or those practices, but the reason. Now people have started attacking books. Shakespeare is under threat. Molière in France is under threat. Tintin et Milou de bande dessinée is under threat. There was one of the albums that was talking about that small reporter, Tintin, or Tintin as they call it in English, that went to Africa, in the Congo. And now people have removed that particular album from the shelves in the bookshops, saying that it's terrible the way he describes them. Aha. What was the time like? Why was it acceptable and, in fact, a success those days? People were not racist, they were just the people of their days. You have to find the context and put stuff back into the context. Look at it, examine it, find the reasons. When did it start? Why? Where? Before you can comment. And when you comment, you cannot just comment with your own morality of 21st century and your own context that is completely different. If you do that, your research will then be of value. Until then, you are just deceiving yourself, my friends. Bless you.